Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things. Welcome to Winter is Coming Wednesday, episode 9. I am going to do a little catch up. I had been so busy the last, really for the whole month of July, that I feel like I got behind, so I'm going to do a little catch up. I'm going to start by doing a reveal of the finished version of the card that we went through and did some demos in episode 7. I am going to also do a demo of how I cut out the palm trees by hand. I will then show you the card, one of the finished cards, because I actually did finish all the way one of the cards for episode 8. And then I do have 3 card fronts. I haven't put them on bases yet, but they are completed. I did some crafting with Libby over the weekend, and I felt like I was getting behind on Thanksgiving, so I did 3 Thanksgiving cards. Okay, so first off, I wanted to walk through the finished version of this card. It seems like every week I've done a little bit more. So this week's version of the card has a little bit more. I decided I really wanted trim, so I bought this really knobby trim that has silver in it, and I just unraveled both ends of it and then tacked it down in the middle. And then I moved over. I had a gold sequin on the left where I put this twine, and because I used the twine with the little silver bits in it, I switched to a silver sequin. I have completed the supplies list and added the article to my blog for episode 7, so I am all caught up there. I also added the shop link to the video for episode 7 on Amazon with all of the products that I had discussed. Let's see, I talked about jelly roll, and you'll see I haven't done any on here, and I think I'm not going to use any white on it at this point. I talked about various erasers, the kneaded eraser, my click eraser, which sits on my desk perpetually, as well as the AFMAT electric eraser, which also sits on my desk, and then the knife that I'm going to discuss, and then I'm also going to introduce a new product tonight. So I've made that idea list span all 3 episodes just to make it easy, and it will include everything that I demo tonight as well. So this card is finished. It's even on its base. I do need to stamp an envelope really quick to be able to then put it in its sleeve for safekeeping till the winter time when I send them out. The second card I created, I don't own this stamp set. This is called Beauty of Friendship. I have completed the supplies list. This was worked on in episode 8. I believe this little strip is no longer current. You can use whatever the current patterned DSP is, or you might choose to go with a DSP that's coordinates with one of the sets. I added the everything sequins on here. The rhinestones were already there. I went ahead and moved the bird off of the tree and put them both down here. I decided I did want some trim, so this is the open weave evening evergreen trim. And I didn't do anything else with the pieces that I had already done back last July. So again, these pieces were brought from July. I do need to also revisit the stamp set with the fresh freesia and the polished pink. So I haven't heard from anybody yet. Let me know what you think. That was in episode 8 that I talked about that. And again, the article with this full supplies list for episodes 7 and 8 are now posted. And I will get episodes 9, which I'm doing right now. Episode 9's supplies list will be done quickly. It won't be delayed. So I promised a demo of the way, I have talked about the electronic cutting that I do with my brother, and I have never demoed the Fisker's hand tool precision knife that I've had forever, and I will demo it now. I do have a cutting mat that I hadn't talked about in the previous 2 episodes. This was purchased on Amazon, but I noticed tonight when I was going through the supplies, this is like a long skinny one, and I bought multiples. In fact, I have 2 of them here. I often use the backs to do photography, and because they're a nice black surface. The one that I put in the list is actually a 6x8, where this looks more like a 5x9 dimensions. So I will show you how you can easily use this. The big thing is that the very delicate knife end here rotates. So when you go through, I'm going to put craft glasses on to make sure I can see easily. And I went ahead and just stamped this image in black so it's easier for you all to see. I'm left-handed, so you'll have to accommodate any differences in being right or left-handed. I like to leave a little bit of an edge, so I find that the swivel of this works really well for following along the angles. And the whole reason why I didn't use the brother, which you're probably curious about, because the brother, of course, is a lot less work than this, but the brother is not easy to get these middle areas cut out. There is a way to have it do that, but it's just is so much easier to just be able to sit here and just whip out these cuts. So I will pretty much, you can follow very easily along whatever path you want, and the knife swivels with you, and then you can do this middle piece, which I will do now. I like to rotate my whatever focal, whatever art paper I'm working on. When I'm stamping or coloring, I tend to rotate my paper. It just works easiest for me. I guess I find cutting toward me works the best. I was trying to think, why do I do this? And I like to cut in a single direction that I feel the most confident in. So let's just see. That needs a little more work. I don't feel it all the way through. I've had this knife for a very long time, and I have never changed the blade. I noticed when I was shopping on Amazon, you can get just the knife, which I think is what I ended up getting, and I did not get any extra blades, but you can also buy the knife with the pack of extra blades for a little bit more as well. So that's mostly through. I just have to go over a couple more lines. So that is how easy the knife is to use. It did not take all that long. So that is the demonstration for the knife. And again, I have completed the list up there, and it does specifically say winter is coming Wednesday 2022, episodes 7, 8, and 9, and I did add the cutting mat to it. So now, because I'm trying to keep these short and sweet, and now the final bit is the reveal of the next 3 cards. I will dig up the pins for these. There was a particular, it was a set of pins that we used for inspiration, and the stamp sets today this is a free Celebration item that you can choose to get with a $50 purchase before shipping and tax. Celebration happens twice a year. It happens January and February, as well as July and August, and there are free things. You can see them. You can type Celebration on my online store and see the items. So these items looked to me like they would make really nice fall or Thanksgiving cards, and so I used the fox, and I used the I guess these are figs. I'm not really sure what they are. Libby called them figs, and I colored them orange. Like there's these little flowers that are orange. They look like little mini orange lanterns, so that's what I colored them as. And I did not use the ducks. I used again the colored pencils dry, and then that was for 2 of them, and then I did a third one using the pheasant, and all of them use the grateful, and one of them uses the happy Thanksgiving. So even with the pheasant, I ended up stamping it with some multiple colors of ink. Then I went back over it with the watercolor pencils dry. And here is the fox. So it is a full edge to edge. I don't have a matte border. I was trying to do things a little different than I normally do. And this is from the Gnomes paper, the DSP. I don't have I think it's Storybook Gnomes is what the DSP is called. And then you'll see that I went ahead and used the watercolor pencils dry, and I did a very heavy, solid application. Not a light application, and I really like how the fox turned out. I think it colored very well, and I love these pencils on the crumb cake. I then used Early Espresso, and you can see I edged Early Espresso all the way around the soft suede background, as well as on the crumb cake layer. I used the new, from Beauty Abounds, the new notebook paper, and these holes, they're actually torn so that you can actually bend them any which way if you want to, for whatever kind of effect you want. And then I used the brass metallic dots. There was a third one on here. I see that the third one went off somewhere. I'll have to find it and make sure it gets applied. And this just has the grateful repeat stamping off here and there. And I think that this came out very sweet. The second one is the one with the plant. Again, I tried to make the leaves somewhat fallish looking, and then made the little lantern things very bright orange, and I used the Twigs and Sprigs embossing folder, which I inked up with crumb cake, I believe. I went with the lighter ink, and it came out pretty dark. Then I did the same treatment on this one, cut it down to size. I used that thread with the silver on this one, and then this is the same thread but with the silver gone. I just wanted to see what it looks like with the silver tinsel-y look, and then because this is an all brown card, I thought it would look nicer without the silver, and again used the brass metallic dots. The third one, because of the way I trimmed the vertical Twigs and Sprigs, which does have a die cut that will cut out these shapes. I did not do that. In fact, I haven't cut out the shapes yet, but I had another half of that. So here is the pheasant that I inked up with multiple colors. Then I went through with the coordinating or matching watercolor pencils dry. And then I used this new, I used the baker's twine in the matching crumb cake color. And then I'm gonna go find this so I can give you the name of it. It is new. We had something like it a couple years back, a little bit different than this, and I really like it for fall and winter cards. And I have zippered one of my things through. That's always nice. I'm gonna have to work on that. Okay, here is the trim. So I can give you the name, and it'll help me when I create the list. It is a woven ribbon. And I will have the inspiration pin up because this was not my own creation. Again, I used the Happy Thanksgiving on this one. Did not use Grateful in the background, and this is Cajun Craze with the metallic dots. And then I went ahead and trimmed up, I cut the woven trim into a couple of pieces. I wanted it to kind of look more natural. So that's all I've got for this week. Again, this is episode 9, and I have caught up with episodes 7 and 8 with everything that I would normally do each week, and then I will get this episode posted. It is a little bit late tonight, so it might be that the supplies list for 9 will get posted tomorrow morning. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them here on my video or over on my blog. And yes, if you're wondering, I do get compensated for the Stampin' Up purchases. Of course, is commission based, and the Amazon influencer shop, I do get a bonus or a small amount of income that does not affect the price that you pay. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.